Look, can you guys see that? Look at that. So that was all created within essentially minutes. Like I would say 10 minutes or so with us troubleshooting the crop bit and the overlay. But that's the power. That is the power. Like you can create all this stuff super fast and then amplify your business, your personal life, whatever it is. It's just you have to teach the agent. All right, so I wanted to show how powerful it is to set up skills and workflows within Hermes. So essentially, part of my business process is going through and creating sort of a treatment personalized to a company. And that's sort of like a pitch. You put together like this overall um, overview of what your business could provide them. And so, but I want to do this on scale, and creating a pitch can take, quite a bit of time, depending on, what they bring to the table, the type of look you want to cater to. There's a lot that goes into it. It just takes time to build. It's a manual process. So I was like, well, what if I can get Hermes to look at their website, break down what they bring to the table. It knows my infrastructure and business that I bring to the table in constructing an AI intelligence layer infrastructure around a business, and to create this treatment on the fly based on me giving it a website. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to input, hey, can you create a treatment for this company? And essentially tell it, now I have a skill set up. And essentially what it'll do is it'll look at that skill, and then it will uh, break down what it needs to do. It has the whole process of what it needs to do in terms of creating this treatment. So what it'll do is after it goes through this compression, we'll see what it creates, and then it will store the PDF in Supabase. And then what I'm going to do in the future is essentially have my agent research companies that could use my product, building an AI intelligence infrastructure around their business, get their emails, their website, create the document, draft an email, and then I can review it, and it'll all be set up within my domain to where every morning I can look at that. It shows me, like, let's say 10, 20 companies that it's created PDFs for, and then I can review the PDFs, review the draft, and then hit send. Okay, so it's coming back. It's done its essentially first pass. And so what I've had to do is it shows me the slides, and then I can tell it whether to store in here under in Supabase under my buckets. So we have a little bid builder, and then it hasn't put it there because I haven't gone through. But essentially, as you can see, it's gone through and it's created a couple cover like image hero uh, assets that it'll use within. And then if we look through this, and we can look at, we gave it vouch, so it's taken into account vouch. And then this is beautiful. Kind of risk intelligence that keeps pace with ambition, a secure advisor layer around intake contracts, renewals, COIs, claims, emerging risk guidance. Oh, vouch, preserve. Okay, beautiful. And then it goes through on each slide, and it's basically saying, it's giving info about what they bring to the table, but also how adding an AI intelligence layer will amplify that. And what's beautiful about this is when, you do cold outreach and all of that, it, you know, it's hard because you it's almost like you're going up and just talking to a random person saying, "Hey, I'm here. but you don't want to come off salesy and you want to be personalized. So to take that an extra layer, like to take the next step, and especially when you're using automation and reaching out, is like, how can I get more personalized? And if a company sees you emailed them, you put together this treatment, you have a well written draft, they're gonna be like, oh, this person is really interested in my company and who I am. It adds a little bit more warmth to getting to know that company. And so if you could do that on scale, so if I were to able to do this, like I would start off small and keep it uh keep it pretty concise so I can make sure that everything is correct. So like here, this is a little too low. It's covering up the text. So I want to make sure to tell Hermes, hey, we got to make sure these panels, there's no overlaying, like do a visual check. If it does, then you need to fix it. But look at all this. This is super nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Build with what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, go through when you're looking at these images, you need to make sure like this doesn't overlay on top. Um, but this essentially goes through and it says what I bring to the table, what their company does, how this can help, the security that my setup brings for personalized look. And then so here too, you can see that it's cropped. So we need to make sure on the next go that I tell it, hey, we need to make sure text isn't cropped out of frame. And these are the type of thing revisions you have to do. So with any type of automation or agent, a lot of people expect, oh, right out of the box, this should work. And it's not like that. You have to treat it like almost a junior employee. So you teach it and it's able to learn really fast, and then you guide it and you see the results, and if it's not what you're expecting, you got to tell it and be clear on uh what you want changed, and then you dial that in, and then you update the skill, and then on mine I have a custom knowledge layer. So it uses Supabase and it creates context packets whenever I have new sessions for the agent that is related to whatever I'm asking. So you have to think agents, like memory and context is a huge thing. So when you're building this, like this is like great stuff, like really nice and well built, but you're going to have these little mistakes and little mishaps, and you want to dial those in and build that skill. And then once it's set, it just runs and goes, and then you can build from there. It's amazing. Okay, so it's coming back. We'll see if it was able to assess what I did, and give me back a fix. Oh, that's a contact sheet. So it gives me a contact sheet of all of them, which is pretty sweet. Um, okay, so look at that. That's beautiful. So now that slide, it's not overlaying, and neither is that one. So I'm going to go back and also say, was it slide 6? So essentially, now look at the speed that you're able to do this. So if you were, creating this treatment from scratch, that could take a good day, 2 days. You got to research the company, you got to create the PDFs, you got to create the imagery, you got to create the text. Now you can get into the nitty-gritty of like what fonts to use, like your branding style, and that comes from developing the skill. So like this is the base, and you want to start off from a base, but then you can start giving it uh giving it upgrades on that skill, on what fonts to use, what is the outer layer, like how you want it designed. And that just comes from building over time. You just build that skill up. And it's exactly like what I was saying earlier. It's like an employee, a junior employee. When you're teaching them something, they'll learn the base structure of it, and then you tell them how to make it better, and you keep elevating their knowledge and their skill set. And it's the exact same for an agent, except for an agent, they're faster. They're able to build quicker. So, one thing to always keep in mind, like, you will run into errors or things that aren't perfect, but you'll also have to think about how humans are. Humans make errors. People mess up on their jobs. People make mistakes and revise, but we're just slower than agents are. So, it and we can fine tune. And the thing is, like, you could also take this as, oh, it gave me 90%. Let me go in and put in the final touches. But it cuts out all that extra time. So, and time is money. Like, you want to be able to create and build fast and remove all the strain that comes from messy operations. And if you can dial in all your workflows, then it becomes a game changer. Okay, so it's coming back. Now it what I can see off the bat is it's saying that it updated the skill. So it's a bit stronger in its explicit wording for the cropping. Now let's go through and see. So that's a contact sheet. Do slide 1. It's looking pretty good. And of course, you would want to read the words and all that. Right now, I'm just want to see visually that nothing's like um cropped or like overlaid on top of each other. All good there. All good there. Beautiful. Look at this. And then what you can do is also cross check it with, look at that. It's so good. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to create the PDF. So this looks great. Can you save it in Supabase as the PDF? And so what it'll do now is a part of its skill is to create the PDF file. So it'll upload it to Supabase. It'll create a folder within there of what the company's name is, and then it'll put the PDF, and then we could see what the PDF looks like, and then go from there. And then essentially, you can tie this to anything, and this is how you guys start thinking is like you can create like if you're thinking of marketing, you can create characters, so, like, create a character contact sheet. That character is used to create a video. You use image to video. Then you go and you create a sequence from those videos. You have it cut it together with your desired tool. Like, it's endless. You just need to set up all the connections and teach it and build those skills. And what you'll learn is you'll get better and better, and then the agent becomes stronger and stronger because it has all these tools. It's amazing. Okay, so let's check out it. Put in vouch. So let's see vouch, and we'll download this. And then let me pull it up. Uh, and then look at that. Look. Can you guys see that? Look at that. So that was all created within essentially minutes. Like, I would say 10 minutes or so, with us troubleshooting the crop bit and the overlay. But that's the power. That is the power. Like, you can create all this stuff super fast and then amplify your business, your personal life, whatever it is. It's just you have to teach the agent. But I mean, it's great stuff. Like, and I'll continue to be building this. If you haven't check out the ultimate guide to getting your infrastructure set up. If you're interested in this kind of tech, a game changer. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the next one.